what a difference a week makes. This time last Monday, I said that South Australia had to rise to a new challenge to throw everything that we possibly could at this cluster so that it did not defeat us. And that's exactly and precisely what has happened. It hasn't defeated us, and South Australia has risen to this challenge. We stared down a catastrophic situation here in South Australia by acting swiftly and decisively on the expert health advice that we had received. And it's because of the action that we have taken in conjunction with the great cooperation of the people of South Australia that we have avoided this second wave, avoiding 100 cases per day by mid-December. I'm feeling very positive and I'm feeling very optimistic that as we head into Christmas that we will be experiencing newfound freedoms and celebrating well with all of our family and friends this year. The fact that we have had no community transmission in South Australia is absolutely crucial. Let's be clear, every single one of the infections that we have reported can be traced back to source. I know that that is making our public health officials in South Australia very relieved, and I know that it is the important information that we need to provide to other jurisdictions so that we can hope to have our border restrictions eased as we head towards Christmas. Now, we already know that we are open to the ACT, to New South Wales. We thank the Northern Territory for lifting their border restrictions with us on the weekend. We're continuing to work with all other jurisdictions to provide them with the information that we need, and we're hopeful that we can normalise our borders as quickly as possible. My second point is that we are still not out of the woods yet. As Professor Nicola Spurrier has said, we still remain very concerned about this cluster, and it is important that we still continue to maintain our testing regime in South Australia. Also hand hygiene, physical distancing and the wearing of masks when we cannot physically distance. These are absolutely crucial, and we do require the ongoing cooperation of every single South Australian. We're continuing to see fantastic testing numbers in South Australia. Last week, over 77,000. On Friday, we set a new national record in terms of the number of people tested per capita on a single day. Great results on Saturday, and I can report to you now that yesterday, on a Sunday, 8,689 tests. So great results. Sunday is historically always our lowest. We're very pleased with this result. Testing has been the cornerstone of our response to this COVID-19 pandemic. We know that people going off and getting themselves tested is the very most important thing that we can do. So anybody that develops even the mildest of symptoms, don't take 2 or 3 days to go off and get yourself tested. Go and get yourself tested as quickly as possible. The lines are very short at the moment. The turnaround time is very, very quick. So we're asking people with even the mildest of symptoms to go and get themselves tested and then to remain isolated until those test results come through. It's not luck that we've been very lucky or very fortunate in South Australia to stamp out other clusters previously, like the Barossa cluster, the Theberton cluster, and of course the Adelaide Airport cluster. It's not luck that we have performed well in South Australia. We've been very well supported by SAPOL right throughout this year, but also our wonderful clinicians that exist in our hospitals, within SA pathology, and in fact right across our state. For that, we're very grateful. One such person who is a real hero or heroine, as Professor Spurrier said 2 days ago, is the doctor out at the Lowell McEwen who first picked this up. And today I had an opportunity to speak with Dr. Darmany. What a hero she is in South Australia. This patient presented at the Lowell McEwen Hospital just over a week ago. None of the typical signs or symptoms of COVID-19. This very intuitive doctor administered the PCR test, and when the results came back, we knew that we had a problem. The great news was we picked this up. If this doctor hadn't have been on her game, this could have progressed very significantly. What we know, when the contact tracers got in touch with her family, and put them into isolation, we know that a large number of them had already developed this infection. So if this wasn't picked up, quite frankly, we would have been in a very, very dangerous situation in South Australia. So on behalf of the people of South Australia, I've expressed my very, very grateful thanks to Dr. Darmany at the Lyell McEwen Hospital.